everyone. As you can see, my hair's still wet and everything's a bit chaos. And I tried to put those up about 7,000 times. Not really, but that's how it feels. And it's just like I just like it doesn't want to stand up, and they keep falling over. I lean forward, and my belly is a little big, so it bumps them over. And I was just like, Lord, I'm just going to sit and do this now, and they're going to be falling over in the background. And that's okay, because they are falling over in the background. And I'm not going to fight about it anymore. I'm just going to allow it to be there. When I asked God, what are we going to talk about now? And where are we at this stage? And who do we say and what do we say? And God said to me, talk about running away. Now I have to tell you, I'm like the queen of in my head running away. I've lived in the same house for many years, and my husband is a stayer. I'm a pilgrim, so I like to run, walk all over and be in different places and that. But part of that is, I think, running away. When God called me into ministry, I always was nervous around, Lord, I don't know that it's a good idea for me to be in ministry because I have this past. And I'm a little bit nervous of my past coming to face me and say to me, you're not so good. And so I struggle with that. So I like to think I don't run away, but I do sometimes. And then one day I actually said to him, God, I just want to not be here anymore. I just want to be somewhere else. And I really could feel and hear the Holy Spirit in my thoughts and in my mind say, but when you go from here to wherever you're going, you're there too. You're not away. The call on your life does not change. You will still be a mother. You'll still not have enough sleep, or you'll still have to figure out this thing with your husband, whatever it was, or, the trouble we might have been having at that stage. And it always brings me back to Jonah. I've not wanted to run away recently, but I sense that maybe there are a lot of people that just want to give up and run away and not be in their current circumstance. And there are times when I still don't want to be in my current circumstance. But I always think of Jonah. Jonah 1 verse 3 says, but Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed for Tarshish. Now, if you know the story of Jonah, God said to him, you've got to go to a place called Nineveh, and you've got to go and tell them they are breaking the law and there's going to be consequences. Now, if you know anything about Jeremiah, any prophet in the Bible, they're forever telling people, God's not liking what you're doing, and then the people don't like what they're saying, and then their lives are in danger, and it's actually quite a mess. But Jonah 1 verse 3. But Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed for Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went aboard and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord. Now, if you read that further, if you read that whole passage in Jonah 1, you'll see that he's fleeing to Nineveh. He's fleeing away, so he's sailing to the opposite side of the sea. Rather than going to Nineveh, he goes off to Tarshish, and then there's this big storm, and he realizes, and other people on the boat are terrified, and he realizes it's because of him. So he says to them, "Throw me in the water," and they don't. They first try and outride the storm, outpaddle the storm, and if we haven't been in a boat in a storm, we've all watched the movies, and even the Titanic couldn't paddle away from the disaster. And eventually they do. They throw him in the ocean, and God provides a fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah then has to be in the belly of the fish for 3 nights and 3 days. And it's this long story. And sometimes that's what we've done. We've gone on the opposite place where God has asked us to go. And then we're taking here and we're doing that and ons vat hier en vat daar, you're trying to take hold of here and make a success of this or that or the other. And actually, God has called you to do this. So God has called me into ministry, and I've been in business often. And ministry like this ministry specifically doesn't yield any finances for my family. So I still have to work, and I still have to like build a little business. But every time I decide not to be in ministry, it's almost like I'm deciding to fail. And then I end up in this place where I'm almost in a belly of a fish, because I cannot imagine being in the belly of a whale being pleasant. Ugh. And I'm in this place where I'm not succeeding, and I'm not moving forward, and I'm not even moving back. I'm just, just levitated in a place of, and I'm scrambling around and all that kind of thing. And as soon as I start doing this, what God has asked me to do, that's when even those things become a lot more successful or planned out or just open. And so I want to encourage you that God might be saying something to you and you might not be hearing, oh la la, I can't hear you, Lord. But when you open your ears, hear him and start doing, your fish experience might be finished and you might come out. And after that, Jonah went to Nineveh. They didn't kill him. Don't read Jonah. It's a lovely lesson. Remember, you can't run away from yourself. You're in your own problems, and you can't run away from them. Don't find the fish. Find the God. Have a wonderful day, and we'll speak again tomorrow.